What is up everyone, and welcome to some more F1 23 My Team Career Mode. Last time out we were at the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, and if you haven't watched that video yet, I definitely would recommend going and watching it before listening to the next 5 seconds of this video, because I'm going to spoil what happened. Our car broke down, we had an energy store failure, and yeah, it was pretty rough. We've had 2 DNFs on the bounce in Bahrain and Saudi Arabia. So we're coming into Australia, our 3rd race of the season, and the 3rd race of the series, in fact, having yet to finish a race. We've driven 22 laps in total over the course of the 2 races. We broke down on lap 9 in Bahrain and lap 13 in Saudi Arabia, and I'm hoping that here in Australia we'll actually be able to drive the full 29 laps, I believe it is, overall, and make it to the end, and maybe, you know, get a solid finish. You know, I don't know if points are on the cards. I don't really know if the car is there yet, but we you know, we showed somewhat decent pace at times in Bahrain and Saudi Arabia. Things were not looking great for us in Saudi. We really struggled to stay with the cars around us before the pit stop phase, but I think after that we would have potentially looked a little bit better. Also, another thing that you may have noticed, let me know by the way what the difference is. I have upped the voice volume in the game quite significantly, because a lot of people were saying during cutscenes and things like that, it was getting quite difficult to hear Alex Jakes and Anthony Davidson, and they had to turn the volume up quite a lot compared to how my voice is in the video. So hopefully I've balanced that a little bit better, but please comment down below if it still needs tweaking at all. You know, we're only on video number 3. I want to get these sorted and good, but you know, it's a bit of a bedding in phase at the moment. But anyway, enough about the actual audio balance of the video, and yeah, we're going to get into the Australian Grand Prix now. It's a track that I do kind of enjoy. I don't think it's like my favorite track on the calendar, but ever since they removed that chicane, which I think was new for last year's game, if I remember correctly, ever since then, I've had a lot more fun around this track than I had beforehand. We're still the worst car on the grid, as you can see here, but I mean, it's pretty close. From Alpine down to us, Alpine, McLaren, Haas, Alfa Romeo, Williams, AlphaTauri, and ourselves are all pretty squished together. So I would say that there is the potential to compete with all of these guys around us on race day. You know, I could easily see myself racing the Alpines or the McLarens if we're at a track that we're particularly strong at. And yeah, that could result in potentially a good performance for us, maybe even some points. You know, they're the 5th and 6th fastest cars on the grid at the moment, so if we can get ahead of those guys, then we could potentially be looking at scoring some points. Not only that, but the Aston Martins have not looked as good in this game as they look in real life so far, so I'll be interested to see what they do.
Sainz and Sergio Perez. And if today's practice session is anything to go by, we're in for an exceptional weekend of Formula 1.
So, practice. Now, practice was actually pretty good, in my opinion. It doesn't look like it because I wasn't in the top 14, as you saw there, but my pace felt pretty strong. I had the feeling that I was going to be at least somewhat competitive, and so for qualifying, I think I'm going to be targeting another Q2 appearance. Maybe we should aim a little bit higher than a Q2 appearance. Maybe we should be aiming for sort of, I don't know, maybe 13th or something like that. I think that's a good target to aim for. You know, we're sort of in the top half of the people who got eliminated in Q2, if that happens. So yeah, I think 13th is going to be the target today. If Enzo Fittipaldi can get off the back row, then I'll be pretty happy with him as well. You know, the car isn't quite there for either of us. Even me struggling to get out of Q1 in Saudi Arabia, a track I typically go pretty well at, to only qualify 20th there was a little bit disappointing. So I'm hoping we can get a little bit of redemption here. You know, I've been playing this game basically non-stop since I got back from Denmark on Thursday evening. You know, I played it a bit on Thursday evening, I played it all of Friday and all of Saturday. So I'm hoping that that will allow me to get used to the cars, and my ability to drive around these circuits will only improve as time goes on. There we are, getting ready to go for qualifying, and yeah, here we are now out on track. We're starting out on a fresh set of soft compound tires, and we're going to see what kind of time we can do as we come up to the line. It's going to be in the 119s. It is a 119.8, and that is a pretty good time. We're actually ahead of both Alpines at the moment as well, so yeah, we're looking potentially pretty pacey. We get slightly cut off by Nick De Vries, have to go the long way around there, and I ended up actually going out on the same set of tyres. I thought we were safe and we got through very comfortably in P8. So yeah, remarkable result for us in Q1. And I mean, if we can repeat that same form in Q2, then perhaps we could be making our first Q3 appearance as a team. We were 0.006 of a second ahead of Ocon there, but we were very comfortably ahead of Oscar Piastri and Zhou Guanyu in the sort of around the drop zone, you know, 0.5 or so back to them. Enzo Fittipaldi, decent performance from him down in P18, not amazing or anything like that, but he did everything I would want him to do. Outqualified both Williams as well as De Vries and Hulkenberg. So yeah, I'll say that was a pretty solid performance from the Brazilian there. And now we're going to get ready to see if we can do anything in Q2 to get our first Q3 appearance of the season. We're coming around now on another fresh set of soft compound tyres. It is a 1:19.7 for us this time, so we actually do improve over our form from Q1, even if it's only by a tiny bit. We're ahead of Ocon and Piastri, but Norris does slot himself ahead of us. And as we come around the final corner on another fresh set of soft compound tyres, we're not going to improve. We're a couple tenths down, but it's good enough for P9. So we are through to Q3 in our third ever race in Formula 1, and I would say that is a very successful result. If you compare that to where we were in last year's game, where we were basically nowhere, you know, we were struggling to make it out of Q1 basically ever. This is a really, really solid performance, and you know, maybe we can even get further than P10 in Q3. I'm not optimistic about our chances of doing that, but maybe there exists a slight chance of us maybe getting onto the fourth row of the grid or something like that. I think that Ferrari, Mercedes, and Red Bull will have the front few rows locked out, but let's see if we can do anything now as we get into Q3. We're going to go out on a set of used soft compound tyres this time to start out, because we only have one fresh set remaining. I'm going to set my final lap on that one, so it's only a 1:20.1 for us on our banker lap, as it were. And now we're going to see if we can do anything on our final flying lap of Q3. We're on a fresh set of soft compound tyres, and you can see as I come into the final sector, I'm actually down on my banker lap, which is something I really wasn't expecting. You know, I was expecting I'd be at least a few tenths up by now, but I mean, the final sector is where the tyres really went off in my banker lap. So I still think there exists a chance of us making some marginal gains. And as we come into the final couple of corners, you can see I am now ahead, even if it is only by a tenth or so. We are going to improve on this lap as we come around the final corner. How much is it going to be by? It's going to be almost 3/10 by the looks of things. And as we come on the run up to the line, it is going to be a 1:19.8, and that is only good enough for P10. So yeah, unfortunately we couldn't really make any improvements there, but I'll take it. I mean, P10 in your third race, not bad.
And with qualifying complete, let's review our top three today. Verstappen, Perez, and Charles Leclerc. With qualifying complete, all that remains is the main event. We'll be live and uninterrupted for the Grand Prix tomorrow, so make sure you join us then.
Yeah, I would say that is a pretty decent qualifying result, all things considered. You know, I can't be too disappointed with what we've done there. Making an appearance in Q3 in any regard at this stage in our life cycle is pretty damn impressive. You know, we're playing on all reduced sliders for us, all improved sliders for the AI. So I would say that as time goes on, at least for the first few seasons or so, we're going to really struggle compared to the AI. But then as we move into sort of season 4, season 5, that's when we're going to hopefully start putting in some really solid performances. But yes, anyway, we will be starting in 10th place for the race. So let's see. Maybe there exists a chance of us sneaking a few points as we get into the Australian Grand Prix.
Welcome to magnificent Melbourne in the Australian sun. This is a fantastic city, and it's a fantastic and slightly revised racetrack. We're in the great state of Victoria, now 14 corners and 3.28 miles for the drivers to navigate, 5 to the left and 9 to the right, with 3 whole DRS zones. The track has been remodeled to encourage more overtaking. Let's hope we get loads of it today. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position. Sergio Perez lines up alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Hamilton, Sainz, Russell, Norris, Ocon, Stroll, Robinson, Gasly, Oscar Piastri, Fernando Alonso, Bottas, Tsunoda, Magnussen, Joe, Fittipaldi, Albon, Hulkenberg, Sargent, Hulkenberg. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track where preparations are underway. And we welcome Natalie Pinkham to the comment box once again. Nats, no weather issues to worry about. It is dry and glorious out there. Everyone can focus on the racing.
Well, the regulations aren't new anymore, but the teams and the drivers are still coming to terms with them. I firmly believe it's also track specific. We've seen some wheel-to-wheel racing throughout the year. Some tracks lend themselves better to it than others. I'd like to see it at every race in the whole season. Is that too much to ask?
Okay, so strategy. We don't have any fresh set of softs, so we're not going to be going on the soft compound tires. We are going to be starting on the mediums, and I was even debating doing a two-stop here, to be honest with you, because I mean that could be the key to us maybe unlocking some of the pace of this car. I feel like we cause the tires to go off very quickly at the moment. You saw in Saudi Arabia, after like 3 laps on the softs, we were just starting to go backwards compared to everyone else. So I don't know if it is a tire issue or whether it's just the compound we were using in Saudi Arabia, maybe even the track. But yeah, we're going to be starting on the mediums this time. We are going to be doing a one-stop. I've decided not to opt for the two-stop on this occasion. And yeah, hopefully that strategy works out for us. But we're going to have to wait and see whether we can do anything now as we get ready to go here in the Australian Grand Prix as the lights come on and the lights go out. And you can see that we have had an amazing start compared to the cars around us. I think the AI is a bit weak on the start at the moment in this game. So we've already made up 3 positions and we're into P7. Hamilton squeezed to the inside of that corner. He blocks off Sainz and that allows me to get past both of them. And we are up into P5. So this has been an amazing start for us, and I fully expect that we're going to fall back down the order very, very quickly. You know, we are in the worst car on the grid. This is like if Alex Albon made his way up into P5 in real life in any Grand Prix. He would not be there for very long, I would wage to say, especially when he has a Mercedes and Ferrari behind him. So yeah, we're just going to see what we can do for now and see if there's any chance that we can hold on to these positions. It puts us in good stead to get some points in this race, I would wage to say. Even if we can't hold on to this position, you know, we got the likes of Ocon and Norris also running in the top 10 at the moment. So even if I lose out to the faster cars around us, we might be able to contend with the McLaren and Alpine and potentially find our way into a points-paying position come lap 29. But now we're under pressure from Stroll as well. We've already lost out to Hamilton and Sainz. Stroll coming up our inside. We do manage to hold him off around the outside into that reprofiled corner. Of course, it was reprofiled a couple of years ago now. So can I really call it a reprofiled corner, or is it just that corner? Let's stop rambling about corners and start focusing on the racing. We do hold off Lance Stroll for the time being, so we're still in P7. Meanwhile, my teammate Enzo Fittipaldi, you can see on the minimap, has fallen down to P22, so it's not been a good start for him so far. But you know, we move, and hopefully he can find some form and maybe try and overtake a few cars as the race progresses. We move now onto the beginning of lap 3, and you can see that the DRS has been enabled. However, Lance Stroll is over 1 second behind us, so we do seem to have pretty good pace compared to the cars around us at the moment. Even the Aston Martins. I know that Lance Stroll isn't the strongest driver, but I will take what I can to try and finish in as high a position as I possibly can. You know, we'll see whether Stroll's going to pile any pressure on us, but he's squabbling with Norris a little bit there, and actually Norris managed to get ahead of him, and once again they're not going to have DRS to me. There's no doubt in my mind that probably these 4 guys behind me, Norris, Stroll, Ocon and Gasly, are all faster than me. So yeah, we're going to have to maybe get a little bit crafty if they do come knocking for an overtake at some point during the course of this race. And as we move on now to the final sector of lap 4, you can see that Norris is right behind me. He's got the DRS on me, so it's going to be difficult to try and hold him off. But I think that we might have a chance to do it. And indeed, you can see he's coming up my inside here, and we do manage to hold him off. I set up my inside, didn't he? He was going around the outside quite clearly there. I don't know why I said inside. But yeah, any case, he does managed to stay behind me. We do hold him off for the time being, and we're still in P7. Meanwhile, Stroll has moved backwards even further. It's now Ocon in P9, Stroll in P10, and he's really struggling. Here comes Norris once again, and with the DRS, that was absolutely trivial. He makes his way ahead of us, and there is instantly a safety car deployed after that. There's no way I could have reacted. He gets very lucky with that, in my opinion, but I think he would have made the move anyway. So here's why there was a safety car. This is Sergio Perez under pressure from one of the Ferraris. He makes a bit of a mistake, and on re-entry to the track, he just smashes straight in to the front wing of George Russell, and yeah, you can see why he got awarded a 5-second penalty for that, because yeah, that was pretty piss poor from Sergio Perez, all things considered. It caused both him and Russell to box, and that promotes us up into P6 now, and we're going to see if we can do anything to put some pressure on Lando Norris as we come onto the safety car restart now. But yeah, I don't think that we are going to be able to get ahead of him as we move through the first couple corners of the 8th lap of the Australian Grand Prix here at Albert Park. But yeah, running in P6 at the moment, and looking pretty good if we can stay with Lando Norris ahead of us, who doesn't have amazing pace. You know, that McLaren, I think, is a little bit better than what it is in real life. It still isn't fantastic, and there definitely exists a chance, I believe, for us to stay with him and hopefully contend with him over the course of the race unfolding. But as we exceed the track limits a little bit there, you can see that we are coming under pressure now from Ocon behind. He's less than 2/10 behind me, and he might manage to make the move stick as we come on the run up to, I believe it is turn 9, this next one. And yeah, you can see that by the time we get there, he is a whole car length in front of me, and yeah, nothing I can do to keep him behind, unfortunately. And as we move on to lap 10, you can see that things are going from bad to worse for me as Ocon now moves out of DRS range. I'm going to be coming under pressure from the man who took his seat at what is now Aston Martin, Lance Stroll, putting some pressure on me, and potentially going to be moving into P7 in a short space of time, but not for now. I think we are managing to hold on. They're warning me about losing some tyre grip. Fortunately, the safety car came at a good time for us, and it means that we were able to hold on to the tyres for the time being, and probably the remainder of the stint now, I would say. But we're going to move on to lap 12 now, and we're going to see what we're capable of doing. There is a yellow flag behind, and another safety car has been deployed. That is the second safety car of the race, and yeah, that honestly comes at a pretty opportune time for us, I would say, because it means that we can box off of these hard compound tyres. We can stay ahead of Lance Stroll, provided we have a good pit stop. And yeah, I mean, this is looking pretty good for us. Not only that, but there is a chance maybe that we'll be able to jump a few of these guys in the pit stop phase, because, you know, their boxes are a little bit further along than ours. Oh no, actually no, it's the other way around. Our box is further along than theirs is, so they might get held in the pits for us, and if that does happen, then there exists a chance that we might even be able to jump the likes of Ocon and Norris, and maybe even someone else, who knows. I think the Ferraris are very far out in front at the moment, looking dominant here at this Grand Prix, but yeah, we'll see what we're capable of doing, and whether we're going to be able to jump anyone in the pit stop phase as we come through. We're going to get an optimal turn in, and that actually awards me a trophy, because we got an optimal grid parking slot as well. And we come out behind Ocon, so we don't gain any positions, and I'll be curious to see where we come out at the end of the safety car. I think a few people pitted under the first safety car we had here, so I don't know what's going to happen with regards to that, whether those guys are going to pit again, or whether they are going to stay out. And as we come onto the safety car restart now, you can see there's two cars in the pits. That is Sargent and Alonso coming into the pits now. So it is going to be P6 for us still. We're going to see if we can pile any pressure onto Esteban Ocon here. Think about going up the inside there, but in the end we can't make the move happen. And now we're going to be coming under pressure from Zhou Guanyu behind us. He is not that fast in that Alfa Romeo. It's not one of the best cars on the grid this season, but you know, he's still a pretty hot ticket in Formula One, and he could definitely try and do something to take this P7 away from me, I am sure. And I really do not want that, actually, because Zhou Guanyu is a driver who is going to be some stiff competition for us, I think, over the course of the season in that Alfa Romeo. This is a team we want to finish ahead of in the fight for 8th place in the Constructors' Championship, and so losing this position to him now is not what I wanted to see. but there are more things to worry about, because this is Kevin Magnussen, who for the second time in 3 races this season, much like myself, is going to be retiring from the Grand Prix. And yeah, that is the end of his race. He retired in Bahrain. He was our first retirement of the entire series, but he's not the only retirement, because as we move now onto lap 18, you can see that the man who got caught up in some contact on lap 5 is retiring from the Grand Prix as well. I don't know if that was related to the contact or whether it was just coincidence, but George Russell is out too. And not only him, but also the man he tangled with, Sergio Perez, is going to be retiring from the Grand Prix on the very same lap. So yeah, very strange things happening on this occasion, as 3 cars retire in the space of 3 laps, including 2 on the same lap. Sergio Perez and Russell out of the Grand Prix as we go a little bit deep into that corner. Safety car deployed, but it's even more than that. There is a red flag here in Formula 1 in the Australian Grand Prix, and that is my first ever red flag in F1 23. So this presents us with an opportunity to potentially change our tyre strategy a little bit, and we're going to go off the hard compound tyres and maybe onto a set of softs or a set of mediums. It's not clear which one we're going to be going onto yet, but I think it's looking like they want me to go onto the mediums. I think the softs might not be able to do 9 laps, if I had to guess, and so I think that we're going to try and just go for a set of medium compound tyres to the end of the Grand Prix. On the restart, it is going to be a standing start, and yeah, we're going to see what we can do as the lights come on once again. And the lights go out, and we get a pretty good getaway compared to the cars around us, but there is instantly another red flag. I'm glad that damage is turned off there, otherwise we might have nuked our car. There was nothing I could have done to avoid the contact there. They instantly neutralized the race again under red flag, and yeah, we're gonna be changing tires once again onto another set of medium tires. Again, I'm not sure that the softs are going to be the play here, even if some of the cars around us are going to be on the softs. I think they will go off towards the end of the Grand Prix, and so we're going to try and do what we can on the mediums. We might lose out initially, but I think we'll be able to get back ahead of any cars that get ahead of us later on in these 7 laps. Let's see if this is going to actually work this time as the lights come on. And the lights go out, and we're down in P11 now. However, we are P6 on the grid, and this is when it dawned on me that clearly there is some kind of weird glitch which has promoted a few cars behind us to be a lap up, and I don't know what ramifications this is going to have for the Grand Prix necessarily. I don't think that we're going to have much of a chance to do anything about this. We might end up getting lapped by some of the cars behind us even, as we do manage to hold off the likes of Norris and Bottas for the time being, but nonetheless, we are currently running in what they say is P11. I'm just going to have to do what I can, but this would be very unfortunate if my maiden points, which at this point I would say were pretty nailed on here in Formula 1, are going to be taken away from me due to some kind of weird glitch. You know, we've definitely seen glitches like this before in Formula 1. For example, if you remember in Season 2 of my F1 22 playthrough, we had a Chinese Grand Prix where a lot of people got promoted to being a lap up, including my teammate, who was also Enzo Fittipaldi in that scenario, and he ended up finishing P4 in that race, or P6 or something like that. I can't quite remember. But yeah, that is Valtteri Bottas putting a bit of pressure on us there, but we do manage to hold him off for the time being. However, I think it's only going to be temporary as he's on those soft compound tyres. He currently has the pace on us, and yeah, we are powerless to stop him from overtaking on the following lap here on lap 24. But I'm sure that his tyres will start to go off as we move throughout the course of the race, and as we switch to the replay camera here, you can see that I am still right behind him at the end of lap 26 as we move into lap 27 with the DRS and with a bit of battery as well. I'm going to try and overtake him into the first corner. We're going to go up the inside, squeeze him out a little bit wide, and yeah, that is going to allow us to hold on to what is, I guess, P11. I'm not really sure where we are at the moment is the thing, but as we move on to the following lap, lap 28, you can see that I am being told to cede position under blue flags to one of the Alpines behind, so I guess that makes Pierre Gasly the race leader. I'm not quite sure what the deal with that is, but he does make his way past us, and we're going to instantly get blue flags again to Alex Albon here, who is, I guess, running in P2 at the moment. I'm not quite sure what is going on here, what the deal is with this glitch, but I think we're going to have to try and give up the position to him, so I'm not burning my DRS here, and yeah, we're going to just allow him through. And I mean, I guess this makes this the final lap of the race for us, right? We're getting blue flags to Alonso behind as well, but if Norris isn't moving out of the way, then neither am I. And yeah, I'm not really sure what's going on here, to be honest with you. But I guess that's it. That's the Australian Grand Prix. It's a weird glitch to finish under, but we're going to cross the line to take something.
A great race then, and a fantastic victory here at Albert Park. Natalie, fill us in. What was it that helped the team achieve their success today?
Well, confidence breeds confidence. Success breeds success. They are very much enjoying a purple patch right now.
Here come our winners now. A thrilling race and a tremendous effort by Ferrari. Their history is well known, so it's no surprise to fans the world over to see them come out on top once again.
What a weird race. What a bizarre race. I'm not really sure what happened there or why it happened, but congratulations to Charles Leclerc on his first victory of the season. He leads home a Ferrari 1-2 with Verstappen in third place. Yeah, I don't know what was going on with that.
So let's have a look then at the drivers' standings.
Charles Leclerc assumes the lead in the standings after today's outstanding result.
Let's focus on driver of the day, Natalie Pinkham. Come on, who do you pick?
Max Verstappen seemed to just effortlessly weave through the other drivers today without a care in the world. He was definitely my driver of choice.
It's time to check out the constructors' standings. Ferrari take the lead at the top of the table. Been an absolutely wild weekend of Formula One action. Can't wait to see what's next.
So I don't really understand what happened there, but Gasly, after crossing the line in first, ends up P7. We still fall down to P11, so not really sure what's going on with that, but we're behind all of the cars that did a two-stop before the red flag. You know, Piastri, Sargent, Albon, Alonso, and Gasly. Alonso ends up finishing ahead of Gasly somehow, which I don't really understand how that happened either. But Leclerc takes the victory. So I really don't get what happened here. I guess it's just a few bugs with the red flags that Codemasters still have to iron out. You know, we've come to expect there to be a few glitches in the game at this point, but because the racing is actually fun to do this year, I think we're all a little bit more patient with them than we have been in previous years. Yeah, whilst we were robbed of points on this occasion, it certainly was encouraging to see that we were as far up as we were, and I'm hoping that that potentially means that in some future races we might be a shot of getting some points. You know, with the traction issues that have been fixed now, the next races that are coming up have the potential to be a little bit more fun. You know, we got Baku, we got Miami. I can't remember what comes after Miami. Is it Monaco? I can't remember. But yeah, you know, Baku and Miami are tracks where there are big long straights which are really dependent on you getting good traction out of corners. And now that I'm capable of doing that, it's looking like I might actually start to have some fun races there rather than trundling around in, you know, 22nd or whatever and not even being able to keep pace with my own teammate, which is what happened in Season 1 at Baku. You know, I'm hoping that we'll be able to have a good race there, maybe sneak into the points at some point. But yeah, it was an interesting race. I think there were a lot of positives to take away from here, even if we didn't manage to take away any points. Enzo Fittipaldi finished 17th, so I'm pretty happy with that performance from him. Even if there were only 19 finishing cars, it does mean that he did finish ahead of a few guys in the end, which is something to celebrate. And yeah, I think we would have been P6 or P7 if not for the weird glitches that were going on here. Here's the false start that happened with the red flag incident. I'm not really sure what was going on with that. But yeah, now this is the actual restart, and yeah, unfortunately we just didn't really get away as well as we had been in previous sort of starts. We didn't manage to make up any positions off the red flag restart, and that could have been a potential for us to maybe even find ourselves in the points in the end. If we could have got ahead of the likes of Hamilton and Ocon there, who knows what would have happened? Maybe we would have ended up scoring a point or two. But as things stand, it ended up not working out that way for us. So yeah, disappointment that we didn't end up scoring any points. You know, there's all kinds of weird glitches involving the red flag going on. I've seen others in other people's career modes as well, so I know it's not just me. And yeah, hopefully those get ironed out nice and quickly. But for the time being, you know, it's still an interesting introduction to my first red flag, and hopefully it will be better next time. But that is going to be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please make sure you like and subscribe, and hopefully I will see you in the next one.